It's the worst of the riot, extra edition, your weekly bonus podcast. This week, our topic, video games. That is because I think primarily the new trailer for Grand Theft Auto 6 came out this week. And it's interesting to see how people are excited about it, especially considering that the most recent Grand Theft Auto came out, Grand Theft Auto 5, in 2013. This new Grand Theft Auto coming out in 2025. A wide gap between the two, and yet people still seem very, very hyped about it. And it's interesting because people are going to be, Isaiah, think about this. It's introducing Grand Theft Auto to a whole new generation.
Very
of
exciting.
Gamers. Yeah.
For the young guns to be able to experience Grand Theft Auto, at least the newer one,
Yeah, there'll be like 15-year-olds playing the new Grand Theft Auto that don't even, like the last Grand Theft Auto, they were barely alive when it released. But that got me thinking, first question here. When was your gaming heyday? What games were you playing? How old were you? How much time are you spending?
My gaming heyday had to be end of high school, early college.
Okay.
When I was in college, probably in college. When I was in college, you have so much free time.
Mm-hmm.
I played an unreal amount of video games. I would stay up obnoxiously late playing Fortnite, 2K Madden, Minecraft, all that jazz. Played it nonstop. Every day. I thought about it all day long when I was in class. I would get home from class, immediately log on, text my friends, tell them I'm on, see he was already in a party, and start playing.
I think a lot of people are like you, and then after you get out of college, you kind of, unless you're a super hardcore gamer, it goes downhill from there probably. Mm-hmm. But for me, I think my gaming heyday peaked before college. I was still in high school, and because that's like, it was just me and all my friends, and that's what we did, was play mostly like first-person shooter games.
Yeah.
And just played a whole ton of Call of Duty Modern Warfare, some Ghost Recon. We also would do some of the games that was more like I'm thinking Diablo.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that kind of thing. Kind of hack and slash and upgrade your armor and that kind of stuff. But I mean, when I tell you that I had a best friend, his name was Matt, every weekend we would be at one of each other's houses playing probably Call of Duty Modern Warfare all night long. And that went on for like probably a couple of years in high school.
And you know what's wild about it too is I think about your gaming heyday. Like during that time period where you would spend the night at your friend's house.
Yep.
And you'd stay up all night playing games. I don't know if I have experienced pure joy like that is. Like that is one of the happiest, when I think back of happiest times, most fun times I've had in my entire life. And I've done a lot of fun things. I've gone to a lot of fun places, done a lot of fun events, but something about staying up all night and playing video games with your friends at that age, it's one of like the best memories.
I'm with you on that. It's hard to imagine. I think, I'm trying to think of other times. Like it's just the camaraderie of it, Just it's you and the boys, you and the friends, and we're working together on something, you're sharing experience together. I'm like, I don't know, maybe some music festivals, maybe rival that as some of my happier memories. But yeah, it's definitely up there, those video gaming times. And something that, like, some of these other moments that you think of, like your top happy moments in life, are like things that happen rarely. This is how, again, when I tell you, every single weekend.
It was awesome. It was so awesome.
And over and over again, and able to recreate that. But now, if I tried to do that, I don't think I could. I don't think I could have I don't think I could enjoy a gaming session that way, the way I did then. I don't think I could enjoy it now as an adult. I don't think I could it's just a moment that can't be recreated.
It really is. And it was such a long time period. Like for me, it was like end of high school into college, where yet again, bringing my PlayStation over to my friend's house, we would all get online and play. It was the greatest time.
Yeah. So you want to have like a gaming night or?
No.
Okay.
We're too old.
Yeah. So, I mean, since our gaming heyday, I think, and now, I think things have changed a little bit. One thing that in most of the games that I played the most, there was not a lot of like microtransactions were not really a thing that creeped into my mind.
So spending money on the game, once you had the game, you weren't spending money inside
you had
of
it. Yeah, you did have to have, I mean, obviously you had to have, like play online.
Yeah.
But just the idea of buying upgrades and stuff was not something that me or any of my friends thought about. But now that that's a thing, like, would you do that? Is that something that blocks you from enjoying games now?
See, for me, it was a thing when I was in my heyday. The microtransactions, obviously Fortnite and all that jazz. For me, Fortnite was never a pay. I would never pay for anything.
Yeah, no,
like
I played Fortnite too. Yeah, I've never spent a cent on Fortnite.
I've never got the whole V-Bucks thing. I'd never spent $1 on Fortnite. But when it comes to 2K, when I played NBA 2K and I played my player, you always had to spend the $50 to get your player from a 60 overall to the 80 that it allowed you to do. And then from there, you could grind. But if you didn't do that, it would take you so long to get to the part where you could just pay to where you always paid.
I think that's one of the things that holds me back because I've, in the more current iterations of Madden, playing online is what I want to do. And, I'm still going to suck either way. But my team takes me so long, your ultimate team.
And I loved Ultimate Team one year. I went crazy on Ultimate Team 1 year. I didn't spend money on it, though. But I grinded that like no other.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
But for me, I was never willing to spend. I was like, I bought this game. I already spent so much on this.
I spent $80 on the game.
I'm not going to pay to get extra players or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess part of the reason I bought the game, and this is so that I can spend time playing it. So I'll just keep spending. I'll just grind away, like you said.
Yep.
Trying to get these guys. That's one of the games that I currently, not at this moment because it's December, but like in the past year or two of my life, I still play a lot of MLB The Show, and they actually do make it fairly reasonable to be able to upgrade your team
without
like
spending money.
Players, without forcing you to spend money. Although obviously that's still encouraged and can accelerate your progress.
And that Diamond Dynasty, baby.
Yeah, but yeah, I can't bring myself to, even if the game is free, like MLB The Show, that's included in my Game Pass. I still can't bring myself to spend money on it.
Yeah, because then you feel so bad. Because it's never like you're spending money and you're getting a certain thing. It's you're spending money and then you're opening a pack to see what's in the mystery pack, and then you get nothing good. And then you're like, I just wasted $10 to try to get a new pitcher, and I didn't even get one that's better than the one I have right now.
Even though in real life, that is something that I think you could experience that. Although you don't go to like Target and you're like, let's just buy this box of $10 and maybe it'll have something I need and maybe it won't.
See what's in there.
Yeah. That is a very video game specific transaction. And it kind of seems a little unfair actually when you start to think about it. How about this? If you had to pick one game you think you could beat a random, like somebody listening to this right now, and they're just like, pick any game. You got to beat me at it. Which game are you picking?
I know for sure which game it is. And I'm out of my prime. A couple years ago, I was way better. And I will tell you games I'm good at and games I'm bad at. I'm bad at any shooting game.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
I played Fortnite, and I was terrible when it was fun because I played with my friends and I loved it. COD, I was always horrible at. My friends loved COD. I was terrible. Yeah. But I would still play because it was fun and everybody else was playing. And so I would be the worst player. Like I was the worst player.
I was as much Modern Warfare as I played over the years, I was always the weak link on the team.
Me too. And so shooting games, not my thing, but I will tell you, if you want to play 2K, it's probably my best, I would say. Probably my best. So if anybody wanted to challenge me to 2K, or Madden, I'm really good at too. So Madden or 2K, I would feel fairly confident that I would probably beat you.
I was thinking for me, I think anybody is going to have a leg up on me if it's anything current. I think because my fingers, there's too many buttons. I can't even type. Forget about, like.
Well, you were playing on the joystick, right?
No, but my grandparents did have, most people probably don't even know that this was. And obviously, this is what my grandparents had for, I think, my dad growing up. But I play, because you go to your grandparents, that's all they have. And it was called an Intellivision. And it had literally, I kid you not, it was, it's like 9 buttons, the number 1 through 9. It looked like a little phone pad, and then it had a little dial that you used to move yourself right and left, and you had to spin it. And so I played on that. I played a lot on that. Every time I went to my grandparents' house, played the heck out of that thing. Games on there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, I guess. I need something simple and something that I have a built-in advantage at. And so along your similar lines, I'm going to pick an NHL game, but again, it's got to be a throwback, less buttons. So maybe like NHL to really dial in the less buttons thing, maybe like from the Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Even though that's before my time, but that's where I'm not at a disadvantage because of my slow
fingers,
fine motor skills. Yeah.
Yeah. When I think back to old games too, like we had at my house a Nintendo 64. When I was a child, I played it.
Yeah.
But I can barely remember playing it. But I know that we had it. I know that I played it. But I have such few memories on the. I mean, I remember playing Mario Kart on it.
Yeah.
And that was really the only thing that I remember. But I barely remember it.
Yeah. I remember for the Nintendo 64, I had a few memories, but now I have memories. But when I was growing up for a long time before I finally got to the, Call of Duty friends where we would play that, each and every of my friends before that time, we were all like behind on game systems.
Yeah.
Like when I was growing up for a long time, before I ever got a PlayStation or an Xbox, we had the original Nintendo. And yet again, that besides the Super Nintendo and the N64 came out way before my time. Obviously, the original Nintendo did, but that's what I played at my youngest ages. That's how I got introduced to gaming because that's all we had before I was finally old enough to buy like video games for myself. And like a lot of my friends had the N64 so that's what I grew up on before we ever got to PlayStations and Xboxes.
Oh, when I got that first PlayStation 2. Oh my gosh. I shared it with my brothers, but it was awesome. Loved it.
When you got the PlayStation 2, was that like a little behind the times? Because that was my first gaming system that I actually had. And yet again, behind the times. Everybody else, that was about PlayStation 3 time. And I had a PlayStation 2. See,
I had the PlayStation 2. And at that time, I didn't even know. I didn't know what was behind and what was new. And I was just happy to be playing it.
Yep.
Like I played NCAA football, like NCAA football 09.
Yeah.
I played on the PS2. And I couldn't tell you today if I was behind or ahead or if I got it when it was new or when it was old. But I was beyond joyful to just be playing it. And I didn't know what my friends had. I was in like 4th grade. I didn't know what they had at their house. But I didn't care because I was happy playing NCAA football on my PS2.
Yeah. Speaking of which, this is not something I had prepared, but when you think about like now, you and I, do you dabble in games still?
I haven't played in a long time. I used to play my PlayStation nonstop, and I haven't set it up probably this year.
Oh, wow.
I haven't played video games this year.
How are you even qualified to have this conversation?
I haven't played, and I played like at my friend's house and stuff, and I still play 2K and Madden with them and stuff.
Yeah.
But I haven't played, like I actually sat down and played consecutive days on my PlayStation in probably 3 years.
What about this? What is the last game you bought? Or even downloaded?
Probably one of the 2Ks, maybe 2K21.
Dang.
Madden 21.
You haven't bought a game in...
I
don't know why I had to look at the year. You haven't bought a game in like 3 years.
Yeah, I never got 2K22. I had 2K21 with Dame on the cover. Yeah, that was the last game that I bought.
So then my question for you, because I know the answer for me, but if there was a game that was going to get you back into gaming, if a new version of whatever came out, what would it have to be? Or what do you think could get you back into gaming?
I don't know what would have to get me back in. I mean, I would go back. If I was to go back and play, I would play 2K and Madden. Maybe if they came out with a new NCAA football.
That was going to be for me.
That could get me in. I would love that. And so I bet if they came out with a new NCAA football, I would buy that.
There is supposed to be a new NCAA football, but it's been repeatedly delayed. I think, don't quote me on this, real gamers or real NCAA football fans will know. I think it's supposed to come out like the summer of 2024. So like this coming summer, it should be out in time for the college football season. I I still dabble in gaming. I still have Game Pass, so I'll download stuff and flip that on from time to time. But I will pay when NCAA football comes out for sure.
I will pay real money.
I will pay actual money for the game specifically, and I will sit down, unless it totally sucks, but it's hard to imagine, and I will sit there, and I will play that, and I will probably, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take Wyoming, and I'm going to turn them into a football powerhouse.
Yep.
They're going to be dominating the Mountain West. They're going to be invited to they're going to invite them to the SEC once I'm done with them.
Yeah, NCAA football could get me back in. Or if my friends really got back into it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the other thing, is my friends aren't as much into video games as we were before.
Yeah.
And so if all my friends came together and we wanted to play again, then I would be more likely to play with them.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to get out and play solo nowadays.
Yeah. Okay, let's do this. What's a game from a while ago? I guess all of your games at this point are from a while ago that you that you don't think gets the recognition it deserves.
Some of my favorite games from childhood, when I think back, and these are games that are very forgettable, but I know that when I was playing them, I really enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
One of them being The Simpsons Road Rage.
Oh, people love that though.
I love that game. Did you play that,
like the arcade version, or?
I played it on I don't know what system I was playing it on, but I played it on one of my systems. I had the game. I don't know if it was my PS2 or what. I assume it was my PS2 that I played The Simpsons Road Rage on. Loved that game. That one and Crash Bandicoot. Loved Crash.
You think Crash Bandicoot was better than, like, that was kind of comparable to Sonic and Mario, right? And you prefer Crash, or?
I just think, for me, I remember playing Sonic and Mario like crazy. Where Crash Bandicoot, for me, was a game that I also enjoyed that I would not bring up. Like, when I think back, I remember playing Sonic and those ones a lot, and that being really talked about, where Crash Bandicoot, which was comparable to them, I thought was a really good game.
For me, one that, and it's partly because of probably my age at the time, there's a game I played a lot on the PS2. It was one of the first games that was ever mine, and that's a game series called Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper.
Yeah, did you ever play Sly Cooper?
I don't think so.
Sly Cooper is a raccoon. He's kind of like a thief, and he had like a hook.
It looks like, I'm looking at it right now.
He's like a thief, and you have to.
Hook.
I don't even remember the story of the game, but I know there's Sly Cooper. There's a turtle named Bentley that was like the computer guy in the chair. There's one other guy that was like the muscle. He was probably a hippo or something. I don't remember. But Sly Cooper, man, I played a lot of Sly Cooper.
Well, Sly Cooper. I've never seen this game before. Yeah. That's wild. PS2.
Yep.
Is what I'm seeing. The greatest hits, Sly Cooper.
He was popular. And that was unique too, because most of the games I played were multiplayer, of course. Either multiplayer or sports, where I'd play the franchise. Sly Cooper is like the one solo game that once I started playing stuff on my own, I went through the story and actually cared about the story and was trying to beat the game. Whereas almost anything else was either franchise sports or playing people online. Multiplayer, which it's very confusing that is a thing for me, because I've very rarely won anything online multiplayer in my entire life. It's just not, it's such a rare accomplishment for me. Okay. From there, why don't we go to, if you had to make a Mount Rushmore of games that are just like games you love, maybe we could do one computer game. I think that's forgotten now. People don't do as much computer gaming.
I loved computer games.
But yeah, when I was growing up, computer games were huge. One phone game, which for me, that's my blind spot, that now, like, I've never got into. Candy Crush, just not for me.
You're not a phone gamer?
Not a phone gamer. The game, I'll tell you, it definitely had experienced its heyday. I don't think its heyday is anymore. And then one console game, and then one wild card. You can go anywhere direction you want with it. Okay. You want to do computer games first?
Let's do computer games first. I, unfortunately, have two. I have two computer games that I absolutely love. One of them is I completely have forgotten about, but I believe it was called Rise of Nations.
Rise of Nations.
Rise of Nations, which was
Let me look this up.
It's similar to like a Forge of Empire type game.
Yeah.
Where you like create a civilization, attack other civilizations, and try to survive pretty much. Me and my brothers played that
I've seen this.
Stop. We loved that game. I loved that one. And then the other one that I played, and this one I actually re-downloaded on my laptop just a couple years ago.
Yeah.
And was playing, and that was the backyard sports. Whether it be backyard football, backyard baseball, I absolutely love the backyard sports. Those are one of my favorite computer games. Spent an unreal amount of time on those.
I know a lot of people when I was growing up were into the backyard sports. For some reason, I was like not realistic enough. I was like, give me the real. Yeah.
Pablo Sanchez and the boys?
Yeah, no, I was playing.
Pete Wheeler?
I was playing the actual Madden, the actual MLB or MVP baseball or whatever. And I was not playing backyard sports, but I know it was very popular. My computer game is Zoo Tycoon. I loved playing Zoo Tycoon.
That's a good game. I played that one too.
Spent a lot of time with Zoo Tycoon, a lot of time with Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Yeah.
Both of them, yet again, got a little too complex and they're a little difficult. Like those kind of games, I feel, live much better on a computer than a console because I've tried, like I've gotten similar games to Zoo Tycoon on
they have
my
it
Xbox.
on like Xbox One, yeah.
Yeah, but it's not the same playing it with a controller.
Yeah.
It's not. It's harder. It's not as. It doesn't feel the same. It feels like you have less control or whatever. Using a mouse, I guess, is what it really came down to. Is that that worked so much better. And then Roller Coaster Tycoon was a lot of fun, but it did get a little complex. Me trying to like design roller coasters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But Zoo Tycoon is my computer game of choice.
That's a good one.
Next up, let's do phone games, mobile.
For me, it comes down to two. The main one being Clash of Clans. I love Clash of Clans.
No joke. That's what I've written down too.
You have Clash of Clans?
Yeah.
I love Clash of Clans.
When me and my wife started going out, that was like one of the first things we did is she got me into Clash of Clans. And I played that a lot for a little while. Long enough that what stopped me from doing it was it took so long to build anything.
Yes.
And yet again, I'm not going to pay money to accelerate it. So then it's just like, well, if it takes me 4 days to build something, I'm not checking in the meantime in those 4 days. And so I just eventually got weaned off of it. It weaned me off of it.
Yeah, I love that game.
Yeah.
We played that in high school, like at lunch, nonstop. That one, and also high school, there was a certain, I don't know which one it was, there was one Madden Mobile that was one of the greatest phone games of all time. There was one, because the following years were not even comparable. You couldn't even really play them. They weren't nearly as fun. There was 1 year of Madden Mobile that was incredible.
I'm trying to think. Would you say this? Do you think your experience is the same? That phone games are much more flash in a pan. You play it for a little bit and then you get tired of it and it's gone. Where like the actual games that you would get for a console or computer, particularly computer for me, you'd play endlessly. Whereas a phone game, there's not a phone game that I've ever had where it's just you downloaded it and then you just play it like for a year or more. You just keep checking in on it.
You just keep on crushing it.
I don't think I've ever had a phone game like that.
Yeah, I don't think I have either. I mean, Clash of Clans is close.
Yeah.
I played that game for a long time. And I played, I think it was Madden Mobile 16 is the one. And I played Madden Mobile 16 the entire duration of that year.
I'm trying to think. But then you think about like the flash in the pan or the game, just the games that
Jetpack Joyride and Doodle Jump and things like that you play for like a little bit and they're gone.
I would think Flappy Bird. Yep. I really liked Crossy Road for a while. Those kind of trendy games. What was the one? But I mean, I stuck with Pokemon Go for quite a while. Not nearly as long. I mean, there's people that still play that thing.
Yeah.
I did get out of it, but you talk about like some of the height of the more recent height of enjoyment of gaming was when Pokemon Go was popular. At first, that was real fun. And just everybody was playing it. So that was a good one. What do we go to a console game for you?
My top ones have to be, it's always 2K, Madden, and Fortnite. Nothing will touch those. They're so above everything else for me because that was my height of gaming. to where there's nothing else that can come close. And it's not even that I think the games were that great, but just playing with my friends, especially Fortnite. I was terrible at Fortnite. I was awful.
Yeah.
But I played so much with my friends and it was so much fun. They'll always be the top ones for me forever.
I think it's interesting when I think of my favorite games. I mean, Ghost Recon, and I'm terrible at remembering like the specific. Obviously, there's been several Ghost Recons and Call of Duties, and differentiating between them all. Most people it's a no-brainer for them. For me, I don't know. It was Call of Duty. We just called it this Modern Warfare, whatever. So Call of Duty would be up there. Ghost Recon would be up there. But I think the game more recently that I would put up there that I got the most enjoyment out of is Gears of War. Mm-hmm. I think whatever the current one is, I didn't like as much. So I think that's 5. So I think Gears of War 4 is my more recent peak console gaming experience. And that game worked much better for me because most of the Call of Duties, right? It's like long range, like you got to shoot people multiple times from a distance or whatever, which the more times you need to shoot somebody to kill them and the farther away they are, the worse I'm going to be at it. Where Gears of War is all shotgun people in the face.
Yep.
And so that's much more built for me. I can shotgun somebody in the back of the head when they're not looking. So that was much more my style. I haven't played that in a while, but I do kind of maybe want to fire that back up.
Fire back up now.
Yeah. And then what's your wild card?
My wild card has to be the Wii.
Just anything on the Wii? Just
the Wii. We got a Wii when I think I was in... That was my... Between PlayStation 2 and PlayStation 4, I had a Wii. And so we did that in between, and I loved that thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, everything from Mario Kart, any of the Sonic and Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games, all those ones, Wii Bowling, Wii Resort, all that stuff. Me and my younger brother ate that up all the time. We love those games.
The Wii is unique because like that still stands up now.
You could break that out at a party.
Yeah, you could still get Wii Bowling going and people will be into it.
Yes, 100%. Wii Tennis, all that jazz.
Yep. My wild card, I've got a couple because I thought the first one that came to mind is if I walk into like an arcade kind of place, less Dave and Buster's, but more like around us, we have the old time arcades that have like the older games.
Yeah.
And the first thing that I always look for is a game called Tapper, which is super old. Tapper is a game. It has 4 handles. And
I've seen this game before.
Yeah, and it's it was sponsored by Budweiser. And your job is to like pour beers.
You're the bartender.
Yeah, you're the bartender. And I had a lot of fun.
That's your game of choice at the arcade.
I don't think I have any high scores on any tappers out there, but it doesn't mean I haven't tried. But then I think also there was a phase of like the PSP or whatever the portable PlayStation.
Way before its time.
Game Boy. Yeah, it was. Game Boys and whatever. I played a lot of Game Boy Pokemon. So that
I love Game Boy Pokemon.
Which again, yet another thing that I got into well after its prime. I got into it and enjoyed it, but and was worth playing through the entire thing, like the original Pokemon games for the Game Boys.
Did you have a DS too? Do you have a Game Boy? Did you have a DS?
My brother had a DS.
I had a DS. I love my DS.
I got a Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, that's where and that was the last, actually, that was the only portable gaming console, I guess, handheld gaming console that I ever had. I never got a DS. My brother did. Whatever the thing after the DS is, you know what that is?
The thing after the DS?
Yeah, like there was something newer than a Nintendo, whatever. Or was that just the Switch?
I think it went straight to Switch, right?
There was a long period in between.
They had the Nintendo 3DS, and then I think they went Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
I had a Nintendo DS. I had a Game Boy, and then I had a DS. Mm-hmm. I loved the Nintendogs on the DS.
Oh, yeah.
I loved Nintendogs.
Nintendogs.
I'm sure they're probably still on there. I haven't fed them in a long time. Probably hungry.
I was trying to think of, I had a couple other kind of wild card games, but now I'm not exactly sure. I didn't write them down because I just thought of them while we were talking. And so I shouldn't have even brought this up because now I don't know what they are.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We went through a lot of games.
We really did.
And I miss every single one of them.
Yeah, I mean, what would you give up to be able to go back to? Because, like we said, it would be borderline impossible to recreate that now in our current stage of life. But what would you give up to go back?
It's one of the top.
Yeah,
it's one of the top things. Like if I had to go back in my life and experience something again, that is up there for one of the top things. That would be the most enjoyable. Like I could go back and re-experience certain years of high school and things like that, but even just those little moments in there is what made it so great.
Yeah, the sleepovers and the all-nighters, the gaming sessions,
staying up all night and just playing all night. That was some of the best times and some of my most memorable moments that would be in consideration if someone came to me and said I could go back in time. Those would be up there as choices.
I thought of what my last honorable mention was, and that is Rock Band.
Rock Band was awesome.
Rock Band
and Guitar Hero both.
Guitar Hero,
awesome.
I couldn't get into because, yet again, not good at moving my fingers around like that. But Rock Band, you introduce the option of playing the drums, which Rock Band I credit with pretty much teaching myself how to play the drums.
So you were on the drums, huh?
I was on the drums, but of course, you could also find me
on
singing.
The microphone.
And so, yeah, that's my other. I was thinking if you had to, we were talking about picking a game to beat somebody at, maybe Rock Band singing.
See,
I know the drums. I still, even though I know how to play the drums or whatever, I would not be good enough at the drums to beat somebody who's actually good. But singing, I think I could do it.
We always put my younger brother on the drums because I think the drums was the easiest instrument.
It's the easiest. You're not good at actually gaming.
Yeah, and so
because it's a totally different skill set.
He did the drums. I was on the guitar. It was a grand time. But yeah, I liked Guitar Hero too. I really liked Guitar Hero.
Man,
both of them.
The memories.
So many good ones.
Yeah.
I miss video games. I wish I could get back into it now, but I just can't. I've tried, but I just can't get myself to do it.
Yeah, definitely not just at the like you think about it, and you mentioned this, the obsession of it, where it wasn't just. I remember, and this would be particularly for like my franchise in Madden, where I'd be doing school, but I'd be thinking in my like what I'm really thinking about. Like it's that meme. What's he really thinking about? I was thinking about who I'm going to trade in Madden. Should I just start all over and start a new team and start a new franchise and do a fantasy draft, that kind of thing. And I would, just the obsession of it. Where you're thinking about it all day.
Yeah, and like back then, it was every day, every free moment that I had, I was playing video games. If I had a free 30 minutes, I would play a game.
For me, all my free money too.
Yes.
That may be the top reason that I don't get more into gaming. I mean, there's the free time aspect, but there's also at that time I had no other, when I'm in my gaming heyday, that was all I spent money on. Now, I still pay for Game Pass, but it doesn't feel like I'm even paying for it, because that's just $10 a month or whatever. So there's not like, I don't feel like spending a bunch on games. And I don't know, it's a chicken and egg thing. Do I not spend as much on games because I don't like games as much, or do I not like games as much because I don't have money to spend on them? It's tough.
Yeah, it makes for, like, when I think about getting back into gaming and playing again, the other thing, too, is, like, I don't want to, if I'm going to play, I'm going to play online or I'm going to do a franchise or something, and I am not as good as I was.
Yeah.
I can't devote the time. I used to be on YouTube every day and be like, how can I be better?
Yeah.
And I'd watch YouTube videos while I was at school, and I'd go home, and I'd perfect it, and I'd do it, and I'd be really good. And now it's like, I can't put that kind of time into it.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to get on, and I'm going to be bad. I know I'm going to be bad.
Yeah, and you're going to get beat by 14-year-olds.
And I'm going to get mad.
Yeah.
And I will rage.
They're going to be trash talking you.
If this was 2K19, I would be crushing you, and that's just how it goes.
I could throw a football right over those mountains.
Back in 2017.
Yeah. I could have gone pro.
So that's my hang up now, is I just know that I won't devote the time, and so I'm going to do bad. And I'm going to get beat, and I'm going to get mad, and I'm going to rage quit.
I got one last question.
Okay.
What do you think about esports?
I don't hate esports. I don't love them. I watch Fortnite on TikTok a lot, even though I don't play.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I think it's entertaining. Same thing with like all the 2K Pro-Ams and stuff. I think it has a future. It's just it's going to take a long time.
Yeah.
I don't think it's not like going to be the big thing in the next couple of years.
Yeah,
so.
For a while it looked like that was going to just experience a big boon, and all these sports leagues and whatever would be like partnering up with esports teams in the same, in 2K or whatever. And I don't know. It was never for me. I don't know. I've rarely, if ever, watched people like stream games.
Really?
I'll look at the highlights if it's something funny, but if it's like just them, like here's how we beat, the new in Call of Duty, here's how you beat this level or whatever. Very rare that I will.
See, that's the difference between me and you, because I will watch streamers a lot. When I lived in Kentucky, that's all I did. I just watched streamers every single day. As like at that point in time, I think I was like 22. As like a 22, 23-year-old, I watched streamers all day long on YouTube, on Twitch, and I still would do that a lot, even though I don't even play video games anymore. And I still watch them on TikTok and on Twitch too. I'll watch people playing video games, even though, yet again, I don't game anymore. But all my friends all watch it too. So I think that might be just the people my age or something. Really, I mean, I know the people that are younger than me love it. They eat the Twitch stuff up. So maybe like 10 years from now, it could be more.
Yeah, that's right. It'll just be much more normal than it even already is. This was, man, just reliving. It feels like we just spent half an hour reminiscing, pretty much.
Maybe I'll go home and fire up the PS4.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go home and do it.
That's right. Invite some buddies over, have a sleepover. Grab some Monster Energies.
Stay up all night.
Yeah.
Dang, the show is going to be terrible tomorrow.
It is the RIOT